Hello everyone, welcome to Information Technology and Creative Thinking. I invited Professor Kim Suk-Kim from Hongik University. She is a professor of industrial design at Hongik University. And welcome, thanks for coming.
Hello everyone, nice to meet you
Okay.
through the video. Today I'm going to share the topic of design thinking process.
Okay, so again, today's topic is design thinking. So two parts. First half, Professor Kim will give you a lecture about design thinking, and the second half, I will have a session with Professor Kim to discuss and to have a Q&A session. Okay, so I'll give the mic to Professor Kim, and she will give you some
Lecture.
good information about design
Okay.
thinking. All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Professor Yoon, for introduction. I'll introduce very briefly about myself. As he introduced myself, I've studied industrial design and interaction design in academia, and now I'm teaching the interaction design and UX design in Hongik University Industrial Design Department. Previously, I worked in Silicon Valley with different IT companies such as Google, Microsoft, Intuit, and so on. And currently, I'm working with many other industry in Korea to expand my career. I'm very delightful to share my thoughts today, and I hope you enjoy the lecture. Okay, so as you may see, design has a various field. Actually, these days it gets more complex. As you know, industrial design, product design, graphic design, information design, so many areas in design, diverse and also complex. And as you know, to become a designer, you need very specific skills. Depends on what you are studying. The general skills are drawing and imagination, and also expression, understanding form, and also CMF and color, and so on. And as you know, the design has a long history. Some may say it started from ancient cave drawings. They said the design was incubating from the ancient cave drawings. And some may say it started, actually the very specific design history has started in industrial revolution. That means when the mass production has started, the design area requires more and demanding. And there was a very specific design school in early 20th century, as you know, Bauhaus, and I think you may heard about it in Germany. Bauhaus has been more, the history go over 200 years ago, early 20th century, 1920s. The German and also the European designers get together to explore the design academia field. And it was an incubation of many other design fields such as industrial design, graphic design, and metal design, and so on, and also fashion design. Traditionally, design was very focusing on these areas, but these days it has more expanded and more focusing on the human science. So that's why I'm starting to talk about the design thinking, where the human-centered design started. Recent days, as you may know, people and the industry and also the society get more complex, and also since it's getting more complex, the design problem get more complex too. So design is not just a field of creating something, but it was also trying to understand human behavior and human mind and so on. So as you can see from this picture, human is very complex. There's a conscious and subconscious mind. Conscious mind is something that you show, you can see directly the behavior of person and attitude of person, and also the wordings and gestures and so on. And subconscious mind is something within the person's mind, so it's not really expressed. And sometimes person doesn't even know what they're thinking, which means their dreams and something that they can accept capacities of technologies or some new approaches or things. So there's always like people behave differently or express differently because of the subconscious mind. So as a designer and understanding the human behavior, we are more focusing on the human science these days. Okay, so that's why the human-centered design came out as a recent design philosophy, and it is very much focusing on humanities and also the social, I would say social sympathy, and also many other fields that involves for the human-centered design. And also there's a few process that you have to know for the human-centered design. Before we move on to the process, I will read very briefly about some term that Richard Buchanan professor, who started the design thinking process in academia in Carnegie Mellon Design. Human-centered approach means that designers consider a deep understanding and respect for human behaviors, attitudes, dreams, and capacities. The essential promise for any design action having as its main aim to support and advance the human dignity. So I think it contains many things here, but over the time when I read this phrase, I can feel why human-centered design is not simple and it involves many things. All right, let's move on to the process. I think you might heard about design thinking and design thinking process. It is actually coming from the human-centered design approach. And human-centered design, as I mentioned, it is starting from the understanding the person and also the context. So it started from the empathetic approach, which is understanding the environment, context, person, and so on, and contextual, understanding the contextual, as I mentioned, and heuristic, which means you have to observe and find the problems, also the process of the context, and you have to explore it, why it has happened, and integral, overall understanding of the context. Okay, so these are keywords for the design process, and it's a little bit difficult to understand what it means. So I'll move on to the actual design process. So this design process is, as you know, as a design thinking method. Many of these methods has been using in the industry and also academia to explore the human society and problems. So it started from constraints, understanding the constraints. What's the problem? What is happening these days, and also what context is here. So that's the starting from the problems, and also it involves many researches such as UX research. We call it UX research, and people start to go outside and observe the person or people or the context, and also when you do the observation, collect the data, the actual data, and then analyzing and framing it, and also defining as a problem, and then move on to the idea, and then from that idea creating the stories and also exploration of the design possibilities and visualizing involves at the moment, and also evaluate and proposing the design. So it's not a linear process, it's circular. You can move back and forth, and also when you are in ideation session, you can also go back to the exploration and move on. So I think design thinking process is more flexible than like a math method. It's not coming out from one formula to the answer. It is more fluent and flexible. Okay, moving on to I can a little bit deep dive on research process. For the research, there's a different ways to do the research. Some people do more focusing on the paper or theories and so on. And design, in the design field, many people, especially for the design thinking process, people more focusing on the actual understanding of people's life. That is called ethnographic research. Ethnographic means, I would say, it's more of the person, people, rather than the theory. So this is the example of ethnographic research. I did this research with SKT for the AI speaker in 2016. When the AI speaker was coming out at the beginning, people didn't understand what it was, and there was many complex issues also happened. So I wanted to understand the actual context and the real life problems. So we visit the home and did the observation where the product was placed, and also how people interact and behave with this product. So we started with the empathetic, to like being as a user and do the observation, and also we try to observe as many as a contextual situation. So as you can see in the picture, how it used in kitchen and desk, and also the room, and even they are not interact with the product. What is the routine of the user's daily life, and also why the user didn't interact very often with this. And some user interact very often, but some person didn't really interact because they forgot. So it was very interesting research that the AI speaker itself wasn't necessary for some users. So by doing this kind of contextual research, we find many interesting aspects. And when after the research, you have to collect the data. It can be the video, and also it can be an interview or observation notes. So collecting this raw data, and you have to define the problems. To do the finding definitions, you have to make some patterns like lifestyle, situation, emotion, behavior, interaction. So as you can see from the picture, when we collect the data, we did take a lot of keywords, and also write down on the whiteboard to do define the problems. So this picture is example of the project that we did with Tesla, and the purpose of this research was understanding the different various kind of user of Tesla, how they interact within the car and also outside of the car. So these are some examples that we explored the problems. All right, and after defining problems, yes, you have to make it a little bit more clear and summarize of the research. So we call it analysis. as you can see from this picture, you have to think about the ethnographic aspects. So as you can see, this user, what is this user's background, technical background, and how he interact with different I would say products or environments or services, and also the lifestyle and also their family life and so on. So it's very compressed data of the person's lifestyle, but it gives you really good glance of the user's perspective as well. Okay, so after you do some summary of the understanding context, you have to move on to the design opportunities. So I think many students are having a difficult time finding the design opportunities, and this is where the design thinking is very critical, because it's the way of thinking, also it is the way of act on it. So this can be the act part after you do the observation and analyzing process and extract the problems and the insights. Then you have to move on to how to provide the solution. So that's why it needs some skills like imagination and storytelling, and also some sketch skills. Definitely, you have to express your ideas, right? So this is the example of how you can use your sketch skills. It looks like a cartoon style, but it shows the ideas, like design opportunity ideas. So within this storytelling style, there's many proposals of design actually exist. So for example, the interface, and also the way of behavior, and also interaction with the product and services as well. So it's a really good ways to show your design ideas and also storytelling to the others, and express to your client or your coworkers. So I definitely recommend to do the design.
Before we move on, actually for our students who are from foreign countries who do not read Korean,
Oh, okay.
maybe we should explain what each screen is about.
Oh, okay. This is the one part of the storytelling idea that we did with the Tesla company, and actually there's a different stage of the problems exist, and this is the one part of the charging station issues. The problem that we wanted to solve was the charging station is always wasting time, because they just do the charging and then stay in the car. So we wanted to propose how might we use the time properly and also valuable. And it was on the showing all the context of the charging station, and also the proposing the idea of interface. As you can see here, when you are starting the charge, before you move on to the charging station, you can do some search on where is the charging station, and also which one is empty right now. So you can go on to there and also start the charging. And then when you are doing the charging, you don't have to stay within the car. You can see what's available services or things that you can spend your time around you in the charging station. So it shows an interface that there's something around you. You can use kickboard near you, and then you can move to there and then spend your time. So as you can see in the story, the interface shows, and then the person, the main character is using the kickboard near you, and then go outside. Actually, the story was near the charging station. There's a hot place, bakery in Seongsu. So you go to the Seongsu-dong and then buy some good bread and snacks, and then back to the charging station. So So it contains a lot of things, the context and the interface and the situation, the problem states, and also the solutions, and so on. So,
Thank you.
Was it good enough?
Yes.
Okay.
Very good. Thank
So
you.
I think it will be a good exercise that you can try when you are doing the design thinking method. Even though you are not good at sketch, you can still express your stories, and it really helps to express and talking to other people what you are thinking. Right? Okay, so finally, design solutions. When you are done with your process, you have to provide the solutions, right? And then many people ask the question, so how does the outcome looks like when you are doing the design thinking process? And I would suggest there's various ways to show the solutions. Some part will be the service system. Some part can be information design and user interface, like I showed in the storytelling. It can be a physical interaction or digital interface or a virtual interface and so on. And also it can be a product, solid product, or the environmental design. So there's many ways to do the solution, provide the solution for the ideas. As I mentioned from the beginning, human-centered design, the design thinking process involve various field of design, like I said, product design, environmental design, information design, UX, UI, and so on. So that's why the process afterwards, it comes out with different design outcomes. So I think you guys are not a design major. So
There are actually quite a
them?
few students majoring in design.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but even you are not in design field, you can still understanding the process and also using this process as your ideation development, like storytelling and also observation part, so on, and that can be helpful for proposing the new ideas and pitching your storytellings and so on. Okay, any things that you want to add on? Okay.
We'll do that later.
Okay, sure. Okay, so that's the end of my short lecture and very brief process of the design thinking. And if you have any question, I can share the email, so you can email me if you have more thoughts to share.
All right, thank you so much. Very useful and insightful information about design and design thinking. So we'll take a quick break and come back with the Q&A session.
Okay, thank
Right?
you.
Thank you.